Hi guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but starting off with my eyebrows already done, I'm using my Maybelline Face Studio Master Prime and Blur and Illuminate all over my face. So it's really weird, even though it's the summer and it's usually when I'm the oiliest, my skin actually has been a lot more dry, which is actually exciting for me. I like my skin to be dewy, so this allowed me to use an illuminating primer lately, which has been fun. My skin's been able to get its glow on without being an oily disaster. So on top of that, I am using my NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator in Gleam. And this is really just an extra step. You don't have to do this, but I like it because it gives a little more oomph underneath the powder highlighter, which I'm going to put on top of my foundation. And it gives you that little extra glow. You can even do this step if your skin is really nice and you just want to get that really pretty glowy look. You can just put it there, and when the sun hits it, it looks beautiful. So I love this little extra step. So next, I'm using my, what is this? L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in Soft Sable in the center of my face. I am the lightest in the center of my face, like most women of color. And then I use my MAC Studio Fix Foundation in NC50 on the perimeter. I am the darkest on the outermost parts of my face, so I mix these two together to get my perfect shade. And as you can see, guys, my skin has gotten so much better. Like, wow, who was going to tell me that I was out here looking crazy with all those marks on my face? My skin finally got its life, which is exciting. My skin always flourishes in the summer, so it's been really nice. I don't really have to color correct as much as I usually do, so I'm really going to try and maybe I'm going to need a chemical peel just to get rid of these last few marks I have, so it's been nice. I'm using my Real Techniques brush to blend that all out. Make sure you blend it onto your ears, down your neck, into your hairline. And ladies, do not forget about your ears. I think people forget that their ears are usually lighter than the rest of their face. Especially if you're going to have your hair pulled back, it's really important to pull that foundation all the way to the ears. And this brush is also nice because if you do your eyebrows first like me, you can avoid messing them up. So next, I'm using my LA Girl Pro Conceal in Warm Honey to highlight under my eyes. This is always a fave. It's just a really nice concealer. It's like $1.50. It has high coverage. It blends out super easy. The color is really nice for my skin. It still highlights without looking crazy. I don't get crazy like flashback. Yeah, so I love it. I suggest everyone get it. It's so cheap, like you can't go wrong. So next, using a damp beauty blender, I'm blending it all out. And ladies, if you want to contour your nose without using powder, all you have to do is bring that concealer all the way to the side of the nose, like you see what I'm doing. And it gives you a natural contour. It's really, really nice. And it looks super natural. So I'm just blending out everywhere where I put that concealer, under my eyes, center of forehead, bridge of my nose, cupid's bow, chin. So next, I'm using my Black Opal True Color Stick Foundation in Suede Mocha. I used to be obsessed with this product, but you know, you just put things down for a while and you forget about them. But I pulled this out because I've been into cream contour lately, and I love this product so much. It blends out like a dream. The color is really pretty. It gives me that summer tan. In the winter times it can be too much, but it's perfect for the summer. And just a great product. These are originally meant for as foundation sticks, but I just use the darkest shade for my contour. So using that same damp beauty blender, I'm blending everything out. The forehead, cheekbones, center of nose, you know, the usual. And I really like using this foundation stick on my nose because I feel like it makes my nose contour look a little less dramatic, which is really nice. So next, I'm going to be using my MAC, the highlighting pen. I forgot the color, but I'll have it on my blog, which I'll list below. And I'm using this everywhere that I highlighted originally. So sometimes when sometimes when you contour with a stick, it gets rid of that highlight just because everything gets smashed together. So this really brings the light back to the center of your face. So it's just like a little extra step I do when I cream contour. And I'm also putting it underneath my cheekbone just to make that contour really bounce. So using, I feel like America's fave, the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. My new trick is to not to bake anymore, to literally press the powder all the way into the skin until it disappears. I'm obsessed with it. It really makes, it really brightens the under eye, and it gives you like an airbrush finish. So sorry ladies, I don't think I'll be baking for a very long time. And then using a little bit of that powder on a fluffy brush, I am placing just a little bit of powder on my cheeks and on my hairline. That's where I'm going to put some powder product, because sometimes if you don't set cream or foundation, your products will skip. So that's a little extra step. And then I use my CoverGirl Queen Collection bronzer on my hairline, and then moving on to contour, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit, just to amp up that contour a little bit. And then I'm using the lightest shade that I have, and I am contouring the nose, which is really my favorite part. I feel like the face really like comes to life when you do this. So onto the eyes, I'm using my NYX primer, and the same mold, putting it on with a brush and then blending it out with my finger. And then next I'm going to be using my MAC eyeshadow called Saddle, which I feel like this is the first eyeshadow I've ever bought in life. I'm still obsessed with it. I still haven't hit pan. You get so much product, and even though I'm obsessed with the palette I'm going to be using in a second, I just really wanted to warm up the eye look, so I used a different eyeshadow from the palette, but no biggie. The J.Glow palette does come with a transition shade, but it's really cool tone, and I don't really look good in cool tones, so I decided to warm up the eye. Also, Makeup Geek has a really pretty color called Cocoa Bear that's like $5, so, and this MAC one is like $6 or something, so they're all really affordable. And I'm using windshield wiper motions to blend out this eyeshadow. And then I'm using my MAC 224 brush to make sure I have no harsh lines and everything is super seamless. And then next onto the star of the show, the e.l.f. Cosmetics J.Glow palette that is in collaboration with Jackie Aina. I'm using that dark color in the outer corner. On the outer corner of the palette, and I'm placing it on my outer corner, dragging it out so it gives my eye a really pretty almond shape. As you can see, I do my eyeshadow in really small motions. Because I don't have a lot of lid space, I have to be careful not to get too out of control, or the eyeshadow will just look messy and crazy. So I'm just placing it and then dragging it in softly, trying not to cover too much of that transition shade. And then I am going to use the brush that I originally put that saddle color on my eye with to blend out the entire look. This brown is bomb. I'll probably end up just using this like with any other eye look I do because it blends it out effortlessly. Sometimes when you get the darker the color gets, the harder it gets to blend out in the eye. So this was really nice. And then using the gold shade from the palette, this will be my lid color. This gold was beautiful, but I wanted to amp it up a little bit, so I used my MAC Fix Plus on my brush. I just sprayed a little bit of it and intensified the color. And using the lavender purpley color, I use it as my inner highlight. And then onto the wing. So using my NYC liquid liner, I use the same steps I always do for my eyeliner. I draw the line on my eye, and then I drag the wing out and then slowly build up the liner. I didn't want my wing to be too dramatic because I didn't want to take away from the eyeshadow, so I kept it real thin. So really for me, lady, the key is doing everything in small steps on my eyes because I don't have a lot of lid space and my eyes aren't really that big. So if you have the same problem as me, well, not really a problem, but if you have the same type of eyes as me, then just take small baby steps. So next, using my Cocoa Lash in the style Queen Bee. Always use them. They're my favorite. I'm obsessed. I put on some lash glue, and while those are drying, the blush I'm using today is not Exhibit A, Dolce Vita. It's such a pretty raspberry color. It looks so pretty on women of color. Even lighter skin tones, you just have to be careful. And then for highlight, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Bronze Glow, which, yes. On my cheekbones, down the center of my nose, Cupid's bow, and right above my eyebrows to really give an extra pop. And of course the tip of my nose. Super cute. So next, using that teal color, which honestly, this and the brown color are to die for in this palette. I'm lining my eye just to get as much product as possible because I will be blending this out with a pencil brush. So it's not too harsh and it really gives you that blown out look. So next, my lashes are finally done drying and I used way too much glue, which it happens, but at least I know they're not going anywhere. I'm placing them on the outer corner, the center of the eye, and then that inner corner, which is always tricky. I feel like I've been wearing lashes for years and I still struggle with that inner corner, but whatevs. And then next, using the LA Girl Gel, what's this called? The LA Girl Gel Glide Eyeliner Pencil in Aquatic. I'm using this on my, I'm using it as my eyeliner, which I've been really liking lately. I've just been sick of black. Sometimes you just need to change up products. And then I'm using some mascara on my baby lashes. And then using that same NYC liquid liner I use for my wing, I am covering up any lash glue since I OD'd on it. And then for my lips, I'm using MAC Chestnut lip liner as always. I'm doing a very thin line just because sometimes I'm getting a little bit sick of the like heavy liner and then lipstick look. So I've been trying to chill on that. And then I'm using ColourPop Beeper, which I'm obsessed with. I'm surprised it's my first time using it in a video, but thank you guys for watching. Sorry I've been MIA, but I am back now. I love this palette. I hope you enjoy it. It is limited edition, but you can find these shades anywhere else. Bye guys!